What if the reason so many people give up on sewing has nothing to do with talent? What if the real problem is that most sewing patterns are confusing, overwhelming, and difficult to follow for beginners? A lot of people start sewing excited to create beautiful clothes, custom outfits, or handmade gifts. But after wasting fabric, struggling with measurements, or getting lost halfway through a project, they stop before they ever build real confidence. And honestly, that happens more often than people realize. Right now, more people want creative hobbies that actually feel rewarding. They want clothes that fit properly. They want unique handmade pieces instead of overpriced fast fashion. And many people see sewing as a practical skill that could save money while allowing more creativity. But learning sewing online can feel frustrating. One tutorial skips important details. Another pattern assumes you already know advanced techniques. And many beginners end up feeling overwhelmed before they finish their first project. Even experienced sewists sometimes struggle with poorly written instructions and confusing layouts. The difficult part is, sewing is supposed to feel relaxing, creative, personal. There's something meaningful about creating clothing with your own hands. Something designed around your own style instead of whatever stores decide to sell. But after failed projects, many people begin doubting themselves. They think, maybe I'm not good at this. Maybe sewing is too complicated. Maybe I need expensive tools or years of experience. And slowly, that excitement disappears. Over time, unfinished fabric piles up. Sewing machines sit unused. Creative ideas stay stuck in people's minds instead of becoming real projects. Not because people lack creativity, but because they never found a system that made sewing feel simple and approachable. That's why many people are now moving away from random online tutorials and turning toward step-by-step sewing systems designed to guide them clearly from start to finish. Because when patterns are organized properly, everything changes. People stop guessing. They stop feeling overwhelmed. And sewing starts becoming enjoyable again. One collection getting attention lately is Sewing Pattern Secrets. Created by dressmaker Molly McGuire, it includes more than 125 sewing patterns covering clothing, accessories, casual outfits, children's designs, and more. What many people like is that the patterns include detailed instructions, cutting guides, diagrams, and beginner-friendly explanations that make projects easier to follow. So whether someone is completely new to sewing or already has experience, it gives them a more organized way to create projects confidently. For many people, sewing becomes more than just a hobby. It becomes a creative escape, a useful life skill, and sometimes even a way to create clothing that finally feels personal and unique. Finishing even one handmade project can completely change someone's confidence. Because once people realize they can actually create something themselves, sewing stops feeling intimidating and starts feeling empowering. At the end of the day, sewing isn't about perfection. It's about creativity, learning, and enjoying the process of making something with your own hands. And sometimes, the right guidance can make all the difference. If you'd like to explore the sewing system mentioned in this video and see how people are making sewing feel easier and less overwhelming, check the link in the description below. It may help you avoid the confusion and frustration that stops so many beginners before they ever get started.